This is 4F part 3, where we're going to be looking at the button that's going to be added to the main menu, and it's going to be called Archive Reservations, which when clicked should invoke the archive routine automatically and without further user intervention. So it says produce annotated evidence to explain how the button was created and set to invoke the archive routine without user intervention. So we've got the two queries, and basically we want a macro that will join those two queries together and run them. So we're going to create a macro, and macro will start off by opening a query, and the first query that it will open will be the one that appends the archive, and then the second query it will open will be the delete, so one that deletes the reservations. We'll save that macro as archive routine, and then we need a button on that menu. So we'll go to our design view of the menu, create a new button, and we'll just link that button to the macro. So miscellaneous, run macro, archive, make sure that says it's not going to be called archive routine, it's going to be called archive reservations. There we go. Now what we need to do is just make sure this matches the house style. So remember, set that to be black, 12 points, Times New Roman, and then we need to test it and see if it works. So if we go back home, click on Archive Reservations. Now it looks like it's going to work, but it did say without further user intervention. So to get rid of that further user intervention, we need to suppress these error messages. So if we go back and for our archive routine, go into design view, we can add another new action here, but the action that we want isn't actually showing at the moment. So we need to select show all actions. We'll now get some extra actions, as you can see, that this is a much longer list. And there is an option then to suppress warnings. So you see where it says set warnings, and we'll say warnings on, no, and we'll move this to the beginning, save that. Now let's try it. Brilliant, no warnings, so it's not giving us that user intervention. Now in terms of annotation, so we need to annotate our macro and explain what each part of the macro does. Now missing from here is that bit about the suppressing warnings, so don't forget to put that on and say why it's on there. Then for the button itself, this is to explain how the button was created. So we added a button that will run a macro, and that is a macro that it will run. And then here is the button showing on the menu. And that's the end of part 3.